As we continue to get deeper and deeper into the winter season, I feel like it's just taking such an extra effort this year to stay lighthearted and to stay positive and just to fight falling into a funk. I don't know if anybody else feels this way. Maybe it's just life circumstances or the weather. I don't know. It's usually pretty similar in weather around here, though. I mean, it's gray and rainy and gloomy, but we only have this for a couple of months here in Georgia. I know that other places have it far longer, some all year round. So I really do enjoy the cold. I just am trying to stay productive, trying not to fall into a slumber, but also rest at the same time, which is kind of a hard balance for me to find, especially because if you're new here, I do have two small daughters. They are 1 and 3, and so even on days where maybe it feels like my body needs rest or we should just take it easy as a family, that's not always the page that everybody in our household is on, if you know what I mean. So I'm just trying to, I guess, keep a gentle heart towards my children and my husband, and be sensitive to the needs of other people while also trying to tend to my own needs and just struggles that are taking place, going through a season of grief still, and just trying to deal with the everyday situations of life that really aren't always that big of a deal, but compounded with the other things, they might seem that way. So if anyone else is feeling like that, I want to welcome you to this space. You have a friend in me. We are not going to sit and sulk over it, but I definitely want to recognize that that's just how it is right now and not shy away from it, because I think that by recognizing it, we are able to be proactive in staying ahead of it and in overcoming it. I definitely think that my faith in Jesus Christ plays a huge part in the hope that I have and the reassurance that this is not all that there is. This life, it will end at some point, but there is more. And for me, that gives me great hope, because I love this life so much. It's not been perfect, but it's been a really, really good life up to this point. And I trust that it will continue to be, but even if it isn't, God will still be good. He will still be reigning and sitting on the throne. And I trust that He will be glorified in and through whatever happens. And so I just really want to take each day with a grain of salt and do my best by showing up, as I've said in the past. That's really my goal here. I just want to be faithful in showing up. And I find that that's often my struggle. Even when I was full-time workforce, before I became a full-time homemaker and a mom, and even before I became a wife, the struggle for me has always been to just faithfully show up and just have strong discipline about myself, in the sense of doing tasks cheerfully and serving well and with diligence to, help others out and put others before myself. So I am trying to just do that. If I can just do that, if I can just put one foot in front of the other through this season, then I fully trust that it will pass, that there are brighter days ahead, and that there's a lot to look forward to in the near future, in the far future, in eternity, in all of it. So now that I've given you a super lighthearted intro, sorry, I think that was pretty heavy, but just wanted to give you a little bit of context as to where we're coming from. I have found so much, just peaceful productivity recently in my kitchen, and I know that that's a common thing for a lot of people. For some, it's certainly not, but one of the things that I'm just really trying to hone in on and rest in a little bit is being in my kitchen and learning new skills, and that's really giving me a lot of, trying not to be super nerdy here, but I guess in a type of way, it gives me a lot of excitement, because I'm learning more about how to take care of my family and my home through natural remedies that we can make here. In the next couple of weeks, I hope to be putting together a home apothecary. I'm trying to study up a lot on herbs and different things that our family in particular struggles with, and then getting the herbs that can kind of counteract and help with those things. So I plan to film a video whenever I get to putting that together. Right now I'm trying to gather everything for it, so stay tuned for that. I'm very excited to share with you. But I'm also just, baking bread, trying to be intentional about getting together with family outside of our home. Like, we don't have to go out and spend a ton of money or anything like that to have a good time. We can just sit around a pot of vegetable soup or, like something that goes a long way and doesn't cost everyone an arm and a leg, and hang out at one of our houses. Just have family time together. Trying really hard to get that ball rolling more and do more regular dinners, especially through the winter time. In the summer, we will be probably, hopefully, as long as we're doing it right, more busy with like our garden and stuff. So we may not have the evenings quite as free as we do right now. So I'm trying really hard to emphasize that now in the winter, when we're kind of indoors more and cooped up a little bit. Also, just trying to learn more about like taking care of our food, building up some skills in the kitchen and like with food preservation, even food that's been purchased from the grocery store. And that way I have some of those skills already in practice and in the back of my mind, so I'm not having to commit quite as much mental energy to learning them whenever it comes time to preserve food from our garden, hopefully, as long as we have a decent harvest this year. I'm really, really hoping, if you can't tell. But that way we can really spend all of our time on building up a successful garden and learning what to do with what's produced in it. Another one of the ways I am working to combat kind of the winter blues is by working on things around my home in terms of decor. This is definitely more of like a nicety or a luxury, definitely not a necessity, but it's certainly something that I enjoy, and we'll just get ideas kind of spur of the moment and go for it. I really enjoy being thrifty and using what we have. So for example, this gallery wall in the corner of our living room I created back in the fall, but I have yet to put photos in the frames. We had all the frames on hand, so it didn't take but a few minutes to put it together. However, actually ordering the prints for it, and here I'm creating the mats for it, I used some wallpaper that I had found at the thrift store to create a couple of the mats, and then fabric that we had from other projects for the rest of the mats. So I was able to really create something that was super custom to us, and I enjoyed it a ton. Definitely not perfect, but I kind of love the imperfections of it. Like, if you look at each individual mat, you'll see that they are not perfectly square, that everything is not absolutely straight or even, but I kind of think that's totally fine. It makes it a little bit more cozy to me, if I'm being honest. It makes it feel like, okay, yeah, this was homemade. Can you say Rosie?
Sissy!
Yeah. Can you say Rosie?
Sissy! Annie!
That's Annie, that's right.
Annie!
Annie and Rosie.
Sissy! Annie!
Annie, baby Annie.
Annie!
That's Rosie, and that's Annie.
Annie!
That's Annie.
Annie! Annie!
That's Mommy Daddy.
Oh, stop!
You want to help?
Yeah.
And then, of course, as always, getting outside is such a stress relief. It's such a mindset shift. It's just so refreshing in a lot of ways. I think even when we don't realize it, like even on super cold or super hot days, we may not fully enjoy the weather or certain aspects of it, but there's so much good that's being done for us by being outside and having that air circulation. And just, gosh, I've talked a little bit about it before, but I'll just leave it at that for now. But I was super excited to go out because I think sometimes it's hard for me to remember that there are beautiful things to make like vase foliage out of during winter. So I just went out with a pair of scissors and had a few minutes to myself. Nicholas had gotten home from work early this day, and he was inside with the girls while they did quiet time and napped. And I just went out, gathered our egg from the chicken coop, gathered some brush to make an arrangement out of, and just took my time enjoying the peace and quiet and really nice warm weather. We had a few days of like 65-degree weather, which was absolutely amazing. And I think that that's definitely something I need to do a better job of, including on days when it is warmer like this, opening up some windows so that the house can have that airflow as well. Oh yeah, and I did organize our porch a little bit. I had been trying to leave the cushions out on the porch, but the winds and the weather of winter just are not being generous to my porch furniture. So I just stripped it down to bare and left the furniture itself, but kind of tucked everything else away until, I don't know, I might even wait until after spring just because of pollen, but then it takes away the opportunity to sit on the porch. So who knows? We'll see what happens. But for now, it is tucked away safely and cannot be bothered by the wind and rain any longer. I was so pleasantly surprised whenever I started putting this arrangement together, because to me, outside just kind of looks so blah and dreary right now. And not to be like a negative Nancy, but it's just not got like all of the beautiful roses blossoming and vegetable gardens full of a fresh harvest. You know, it's just not like an abundant season outdoors right now. And so I forget that like these things that just look like brush in the outdoors, when you bring them inside, they bring so much life and texture and color, some that's very much needed. So I was very sweetly surprised by that. And it was not the first reminder that I've had recently, which is such a gracious gift from the Lord, that this is living. Like, I don't often feel this way because we still have a lot of dreams and aspirations. But the other morning, as I was making my coffee and like helping the girls with things first thing in the morning, and Nicholas doesn't wake up easy in the morning, so helping him get up and get going, and like in the midst of all of those things, oftentimes I will find myself feeling like stressed or rushed or just the busyness of it. But there was such peace that day, and I just thought, man, we have made it. And to a lot of people looking from the outside into our life, they may not think that. They may think like, well, you said that you wanted like more land or a bigger house or this, and this. And like I said, we do have dreams and aspirations, but just to feel that peace of this is living. Like, this is beautiful. This is what we've always prayed for and dreamt of. And here we are. I think has really been, like I said, just such a gracious gift from the Lord. Like, not something that I would naturally muster up in my own self, but definitely something that I think He knows in this season I need to be reminded of in gentle ways, as He is so kind to do. So I just wanted to finish by making sure that I point out the beauty of this life in every season. And if you do not find yourself seeing that or feeling that right now, that's totally all right too. I get that. But I am praying that you find that soon, even if it's just a little glimpse, even if it's not long lasting, that you have that glimpse of hope very soon, and that you can hold on to it, that you can cling to it, and that it'll carry you through until you find another one, or until you make it through this season that you're in. And if you do not find yourself in a tough season right now, if you absolutely love winter and life is just really good, then I want you to know that I rejoice with you. I'm so happy for you, and I cheer you on just the same. So I love how we can do this all together. No matter where we're at in life, we can come and spend just a few minutes of our day here. So I wanted to finish with this scripture. It may be well known to you. It is Psalm 23, and it says, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever." Thank you so much for spending part of your day here with me, friends. If you're not already, I would love for you to subscribe and keep up with all the happenings of around my home and beyond. So I hope you have a great day wherever you're at, and I'll catch you next time. Bye, guys.